that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another special Kickstarter review. And today I'm going to be taking a look at Flippin Fruit from Andrew Platt. This is for 2 to 4 players, ages 8 and up, and it'll take about 10 to 30 minutes to play. And in Flippin Fruit, you will be rolling dice trying to make smoothies. Sound intriguing? Let's open it up and see how it plays. Alright, so inside of your Flippin Fruit tube, let's take a look at what you're going to get. First and foremost, you're going to get your beautiful 10-sided dice. They have different fruit on all the different sides. Well, they have different fruit on the different sides that you'll be rolling in order to make your smoothies. You're going to get your handy-dandy rule booklet. It's a very small pamphlet, very well done. It clearly explains how to play the game. Top-notch, thumbs up. Andrew really enjoyed the rule booklet. Next, you're going to get your turn card. In this game, you're going to be playing through 8 turns. You'll notice that the 3 and the 6 are a little bit unique. That's because every other turn is very normal. However, once you get to the turn 3 and the turn 6, the rotten tomatoes, which are normally bad, will actually be wilds, which makes them incredibly good. I do like those rounds a lot. Next, you're going to have 5 of these orange smoothies out here. Now, these are relatively simple ones. You might just have a pair of something, or full house, or 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, 5 of a kind, so on and so forth. Now, if you gain these at the end of your turn, you'll put them in front of you and you will have 2 points at the end of the game. However, the orange cards can actually be stolen from you, whereas these green cards, which are also smoothie cards, cannot be stolen from you. So you're going to be like, alright, I can make this, but at the same time, I can make this, but this can't get stolen from me. So you're going to be like, do I want to take the green cards that can't be stolen, or do I want to take the orange cards that are worth points? It's going to be kind of one of those things where you're going to be balancing them. You're going to have a huge stack of these smoothie cards, and as soon as you create a smoothie, a new one will come out that you can create. They have different point values on them, and in this game, you're going to be playing 8 rounds to try and get the most points by creating the various different smoothies, and as you can see, they all have different point values. Now, I mentioned earlier the dice. Now, on the dice are all the different kinds of fruit. So in order to complete this smoothie, I would need to roll a banana, an orange, and a lemon. If I can successfully do that, I will gain 2 points. Now, this kind of has King of Tokyo rules, or Yahtzee rules, where you're going to have 3 turns to roll the dice. Now, let's just pretend that I am able to do this in my very first roll. That would be my 1 action. You're essentially going to get 3 actions in this game. So you can essentially say, alright, I've got this my first action. You're going to have 2 more actions, which means you could go ahead and draw a fruit basket, which are the other cards over here, which we're going to get into next. These cards are awesome. These are one of my favorite things in the game. If you have an extra action, I would highly recommend grabbing them because they'll have unique special abilities. Some will be bad against your opponent, some will be good for you. So let's see. This one right here will essentially just let you convert this any side aside from a rotten tomato into a lemon. So if you needed a lemon, for instance, then you could play this card and you could turn whatever dice you want into a lemon. You discard that card and then you could take your smoothie. This one is called the fresh fruit card. Play this card at any time during your turn to reroll all rotten tomatoes in play. Very good card, because next I want to get to the rotten tomatoes. Now I mentioned the majority of these are fruit. However, this one is a rotten tomato. It's got a nice little bandit thing on it, and I like it. And when you roll these are bad. So let's go over a mock hand real quick so you can see how this is played. So I'm going to roll all the dice, and we're gonna flip one to pretend that it is a rotten tomato. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to set any of these aside that you would like to set aside, and then you're going to re-roll the rest of them. However, you cannot re-roll a tomato unless you re-roll only the tomato. So essentially, if you didn't like any of these dice, you could say, alright, I'm either going to re-roll this 1 tomato or these 4 other dice, which definitely kind of stinks. However, if you roll 2 tomatoes, then you could roll 2 tomatoes or re-roll all 3 of these dice. So essentially, the tomatoes are going to be kind of handicapping you. You're going to roll 3 times, and if you are successfully able to create a smoothie, let's just pretend that I can make this smoothie, then you will take that card, put it in front of you, and draw a new smoothie card. Now, how this works, and I really like this mechanic, is let's just pretend that these are the 3 dice that you've used, and these are the 2 leftover dice. What happens is the person after you has the choice to continue with these 2 dice. So essentially, if they like the blueberry and the banana, then they can say, alright, I'm going to keep these for no additional actions and just reroll these 3. It really makes you think about what you're giving to your opponents, especially when you get some high value ones like this 7 right here. That, in a nutshell, is how you're going to play Flippin Fruit. Alright, so Flippin Fruit from Andrew Platt. What are my final thoughts? Let's go to the pros. Let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, the game's not going to be for everybody. It is a very luck-based game. You know, there is some minor strategy here and there. There's a little bit of hand management. You're going to pick up cards and decide when to play them. But for the most part, it is mostly luck-based because you're going to be chucking 10-sided dice. And that's just not going to be for everybody. Also, the game's only for 2 to 4 players, so if you got a larger group of players at your gaming group, you're probably not going to want to play this. And even though I really do think you could play with more players, it would just slow down the game a little bit. That's about it. Moving on to the pro side, I really enjoyed Flippin Fruit. This is one of my favorite dice games that I played, and I love dice game. Let me just assure you, I absolutely adore dice games, and I love this game. First and foremost, I like the artwork. It's very kid-friendly, but at the same time, it's not childish. I really like the fruit with the different faces. I like the tomato that looks like a robber. I really enjoyed the artwork. This is the promotional edition. The components are outstanding. The dice are gorgeous. The tube, and I do want to show you this real quick, just to show you, it is going to be a little bit larger than your standard dice tube, but it is a very nice tube, and this is the promotional, so who knows, the tube you get might be even nicer. The rules are very clear. Everything about this game is leaking in quality. I cannot recommend Flipping Fruit enough. I really enjoyed this game, and if you enjoy dice games, if you enjoy light family games, if you enjoy games of this ilk, you should definitely check out Flippin Fruit from Andrew Platt. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for your time, YouTube.
That was a review for Flippin Fruit. For more reviews and previews, check back at Bauer's Game Corner.